the bad assets.
Some experts feared it may take longer to raise 2 billion cedis from pensions funds to recapitalize some local banks. Government last year supported the creation of private sector-led Ghana Amalgamated Trust to help the banks meet the new capital requirement of 400 million cedis.
And a group of lucky Cathay Pacific customers have scored first-class seats at economy prices. Tickets on trips from Hong Kong to Portugal were sold on the airline's website for $1,512 instead of $16,000.
Wow, that's a gap of about $14,000.
So bizarre.
And you welcome back. We'll go straight to the phone lines now and say hi to Diana Siade. She speaks for the Ghana Highways Authority and Engineer Mahama. Engineer Abdullahi Mahama is an expert in the built environment and the road engineering space. Good morning, lady and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning. Is Diana Siade there?
Good morning, Engineer Mahama here.
Yes. Okay. So, Engineer, I'm going to speak to you shortly on what is happening on the N1, but Komla Adom has put together a report on this. Let's listen to him first.
Dislodged metal parts, shifted concrete slabs, and deep cracks. That is what you'd see when you get to the Footbridge at Noga Hill on the N1 highway, not far from the Fiesta Royale Hotel.
Looking at the situation now, I think over time that means it's going to push further, and so I just suggest that if the government officials can just come in or probably set a height limit up here so that at least they can restrict some long vehicles from passing under this footbridge.
Commuters and residents here attribute the cracks to overloaded trailers constantly crashing into the footbridge.
Sometimes I have my fashion, but we say we say na shift kakra. Ni na free we heavy trucks no. So on fa bulldozer no we na forklift no. Na so on fast na e long too much. Na aye we e can bridge no. Nti na ma e this infection ni na ba ahase no.
Beverly, who lives around here, noticed this a couple of days ago.
The low beds that load stuff for if they hit their stuff, it hits. So they have to sometimes park and then remove some off and then pass over. Some of them today don't. They find their way through. They push, try and move and then skip it. So it hits. You see, as it hits, it cracks. It brings little cracks in it on the footbridge. So sometimes when you're walking and we see the low beds, you have to wait for them to pass because once they hit, it shakes. It gives a little shake on the over.
She's just one of more than 15 people who used the bridge while we were filming for this story. Residents are unanimous in their belief that the absence of a height limit signage on or close to the footbridge is to blame.
Like this major crack like this is very dangerous. If something is not done, it might cause a lot of problems here.
This crack here is due to the heavy-duty vehicles and trailers who constantly crash into the footbridge. Sometimes when they pass under the bridge, it vibrates. But beneath the bridge itself, fresh concrete chippings have fallen off the top of the bridge. Well, as dangerous as this may be, commuters have very little by way of options if they have to cross the highway from one end to another. And the absence of a height limit means the trailers and long vehicles will continue to crash into the bridge, like this one nearly did while we were still at the site.
That was Komla Adom, who visited that footbridge close to Noga Hill on the N1. Engineer Abdullahi Mahama is on the line. We've also been joined by Diana Siade. Good morning, Diana.
Good morning, Daniel.
Great. I mean, hold on a moment. Engineer, so in the first place, how serious is this issue when we talk about the behavior of these large trucks on the road?
Well, good morning to
Daniel,
you.
We've been trying to...
So, Diana, just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Diana, if you can hold on a moment for Engineer Abdullahi to speak, and then I'll come to you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Engineer, go ahead.
Yeah, we first and foremost, I think we would have to blame fair square the relations or whatever is happening to the officialdom, not necessarily the Ghana Highways Authority for that matter. Where are we having those vehicles coming from in the first place? There are international standards that ought to be adhered to by motorists and pedestrians alike. First and foremost, no vehicle has to load beyond a certain limit internationally. You don't just change it when you are in Accra or when you are in Dubai, when you are in Kumasi, when you are in South Africa or USA, so that everybody would have that thing in the mind that you don't have to be adjusting in any country that you go to. No vehicle has to go beyond 4.5 meters. That is why you see all the bridges in Ghana and elsewhere having an embossment that height of the what we call the vertical clearance is indicated at both approaches of those either footbridges or interchanges, 5 meters or 5.5 meters. So in the first place, any vehicle that hits a pedestrian footbridge or a bridge or an interchange, that driver has committed an offense. That driver ought to be sent to court and be punished accordingly. If you go to the harbors, we have the weigh scale or the axle load as well as the gantry. The gantry is like two vertical poles, like a goal post, okay? Which has a horizontal bar, which is supposed to be indicative that any vehicle that goes across that has adhered to the vertical height. So if any vehicle moves from the harbor and is going to Ouagadougou, is going to Bolga, there's no way that that vehicle should hit the pedestrian footbridge or the interchange or any other pedestrian walkway across the country. So first and foremost, who is ensuring that this laid down procedure is adhered to? When the vehicles move outside the ports, they have the tendency of coming out of the port, having some trucks or light duty trucks behind them, and then toppling or they top up the goods that they are bringing from the port as they are moving on the road. Secondly, the low bed. In this case, I've seen that. I think last year we had a similar one on the Abofu one, where I was told that I think your station picked it up that what do you call it? An excavator hit the footbridge at Abofu Junction, causing the same fear and panic. Now, if a low bed is maybe 0.7 or 0.9 from the ground, and is supposed to have an excavator loaded onto it, when the excavator's arm is bent to lie on the front of the low bed, somebody has to check that as we have put the excavator onto the low bed, have we actually bent the arm so much so that it will not exceed the vertical or international standard height that has been approved?
Okay.
That is not that, because I'm not seeing most of the time the goods which are coming from the ports would not so much impact when they hit some of these bridges, because they might be light duty, there might be things that are movable on top, like when they have loaded beyond a certain limit. When they hit these patient concrete or steel bridges, they might rather have their goods going down. But when you have the excavator sitting on a low bed with that heaviness, that will have the significant impact on our footbridges.
So, Engineer, let me go and take your concerns on the other line to Diana Siade, because Siade, you would admit that it's not just about the footbridges that are pushed, that are hit by these trucks. That is the problem, because the roads themselves, the heavier the truck is, the worse the road will be, because there's a design weight that these roads are designed for, and these trucks are often overloaded. So would you agree then with Engineer Abdullahi Mahama when he says that the blame should be placed squarely at the foot of government and regulatory agencies such as yourself?
Well, I don't know where to bite for that blame, but all that he said factually, especially about people flaunting several laws in this country, it's true. As I said, I still don't know where to bite for that blame. I can put in an instance where I think somewhere last year or so, there was an advertisement in the graphic from a company supposedly that was, I think, tendering or bidding for or trying to import certain kind of machinery. Okay, so I think it's this heavy duty vehicles. When we look at the vehicle, it's a bit off gauge and all that. So the director for road safety and myself, we tried to find out which company is trying to bring in those vehicles. It was in Daily Graphic. I tried to contact people within the Daily Graphic to give us the address of the company. Daniel, so they told me point blank, I can't name the source, that they cannot give us the address of that company because the company asked that, per the advertisement, that the people should deliver their letters or whatever it is at Daily Graphic. So it used Daily Graphic address instead of its own address. Now, I don't know what law it is that they couldn't flaunt. Nobody could tell us where the company is located, how we can contact them, because they are using Daily Graphic's address. Now, we can't, the port, we can't go and be working there as well. GHA is not an extension to the Ghana Port and Harbour Authority. We couldn't follow further. There's nothing we could do to know if those equipment have arrived in this country, if they've met certain specifications, because there are some vehicles that we know cannot come, as the engineer has said, about the roads, its effect, and the bridges. Now, regarding
I know that's not the general matter that we are dealing with, but it's quite curious.
Yes, as he's saying, regulation, that he's trying to put certain things at our doorstep. I'm trying to explain to him that we have tried to cover several angles of this thing.
Can you not coordinate with the police to investigate beyond asking the Daily Graphic in a case like this?
No, first we have to know. We don't. We wanted to know the exact vehicles they are bringing in. It looks like a heavy-duty vehicle, but we wanted to know. So if we don't know, we don't even have specifications, we can't go ahead and be reporting these things to police.
But you want to find someone first. My question was that you could not have coordinated with the police to find this individual or this company.
It's not an individual, it's a company.
Yes, I corrected myself.
Now,
so you could not.
To explain this.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me.
You go ahead.
Let me explain this to you. We wanted to know what vehicles they are importing, if it's passed and all that. Their advertising wasn't that clear. So I personally called somebody within Graphic, and I was told details couldn't be given. Those who know what the advertisements were about will apply. It ended there. I followed up. So we decided that we will have to wait, go back to Graphic. I think somewhere late last year. You understand? And then we tell them that we have this so and so reasons why we are looking for these addresses. We need to monitor this. So we've just come back and we'll be pursuing that.
Okay, so let's move to
on the bridge. Let me address that as we were talking about. The situation about the bridge, for example, the standard is 4.5. But if you go to the bridge and you measure, you realize that we have given a 0.5 allowance, making it 5 meters.
Yeah.
So if a truck should be able to hit the deck of a 5 meters height, we are talking about somebody who has deliberately broken the law to cause that to happen.
And that person should be brought to book, should it not? We should be checking the trucks to make sure that the trucks are, first of all, not loaded too high. And we should be punishing persons who overload their trucks. Why is that not happening?
We've taken the number of those trucks. We are contacting the owner. We're contacting the police. As I'm talking to you, the directors are trying to talk to the police and trying to talk to the vehicle owner. But in the meantime, while that is going on, we are trying to repair the bridge.
That's great. That's great. And we've seen your statements that the bridge will be worked on within 3 days and there's no immediate danger to the people around there. But my question is that why are we trying to talk to this person? This person has broken the law. Why are we trying to contact the person? We should be finding the person and making him face the law. Is that not the case?
That is what we are trying to do. That's why we are contacting the police. You've asked, why don't we contact the police? That's why we are contacting the police, and I've stated that this morning that is all being done.
Okay, so the police was contacted this morning?
My bosses are trying to contact them and lodge a report so that we can get the owner of the vehicle.
Has the report been lodged? It's 9:14 a.m. Has the report been lodged?
I can't really go into all that, but I'm assuring you that we are trying to make sure the right things are done.
Okay, I hear engineer has some concerns to raise. Let's make that your final comment, please, so that we can move on. Engineer Mahama. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. First and foremost, I would like the PRO to know that I didn't blame Fair Square Ghana Highways Authority, because they cannot be everywhere. Like I rightly said, that the clearance on even the highway, some of them are even 5.5. We have even added a meter on the Achimota footbridges. They are even more than 5 meters. So it cannot they cannot be blamed for the carnages when the motorists are moving from the ports. The MTTD has a role to play. So if I say officialdom, GHA has done the road, they have constructed or they have ensured that contractors have adhered to specification. The road has been constructed. The footbridges or the interchanges have been constructed to specification. All the vertical clearance have been adhered to. The MTTD has a role to play. First and foremost, the one that happened last year at the Abofu end, what did the police do about it? This one had just happened. Can't we liaise with the police and then DVLA and, like you're rightly saying, we'll get this person announced on radio, his car number and the name of the person published, so that he'll be summoned to the police. He has to walk to the police, not the opposite. So the GHA cannot take this blame, but the motorists and then those who are have been given the mandate to ensure that sanity prevails on the road are the MTTDs. They ought to take this blame when some of these things happen and they are reported. The GHA cannot go and effect arrest. GHA does not have that mandate, but there's an institution which has that mandate to do the effect of those arrests. When you go past the Achimota and Sawam Akati roads, the other twist is that we have, aside the footbridges being knocked down by these vehicles, which means that those drivers are recalcitrant. They have now been able to identify where we have our station axle load points. About 500 meters or 1 kilometer before they get to this axle load point, they have a light truck, which is like the Kia or Rhino, following them. They offload some of the goods. They go past the axle load, meet the specification as in the weight, and when they go past the axle load, about a kilometer away, they go and load again. So we have to be smart enough when we see that these guys know that we have station axle loads at one particular point. We have to have the GHA has a mobile one. Why can't we have the mobile ones moving maybe 3 kilometers before the expected junction, 7 kilometers before after the expected, so that the drivers cannot outwit us when they go and load more than 100 tons, because that one will bring the lifespan of the road into very short. So we have to be pragmatic enough. We have to outsmart the criminal, in this case the motorist, because the driver thinks that when he moves from the port and he gets to the northern region with about 70 tons, he has made so much savings at the detriment of the of government or to the Ghana Highways Authority. So in this case, we have to first and foremost align where the blame ought to be sent to. GHA in this case have met the specification. They have ensured that the work has been done satisfactorily. Who are supposed to ensure that this thing goes on. And the second one has to do with the area managers. The Ghana Highways Authority have area managers who have been zoned across the whole country, who are managing our areas. They have to be working to report to the regional offices so that some of these things will be moved faster than normal. Because after this time, if this thing should happen on Saturday and today is Monday, we don't know the driver. We have not even announced that this man has to report to the police. And secondly, the PRO was making the comment that some machines were supposed to come into the country and then they followed up at graphic. The Ghana Highway is an authority. They can liaise with the Ports and Harbours Authority and then ensure that those equipment will be impounded once they don't meet the Ghanaian specification in this country.
Thank you very much, Engineer Abdullahi Mahama. Yes, thank you very much, Engineer Abdullahi Mahama, for those thoughts on the subject. I'll give the final comment as well to Diana Siade, but restate for us again in your final comment when we should expect that the footbridge at Noga Hill will be fixed.
Okay, before I go to that, let me quickly address the graphic advertisement issue. The advertisement, as I stated, wasn't clear, but it stated that it was importing, heavy-duty vehicles. We wanted to know, because we were worried that a company should insist that people who are interested in that should be using graphics address. It raised a red hair, and we wanted to know. It's not a situation that we are specific that the things they are importing are wrong or anything. But if an advertisement should insist that they want to use the publisher's address, everybody should be concerned. So we were on the alert that we just wanted to know what is about that you can't use your own address. We are not saying that they've done anything wrong, and we'll continue to find out about that. And again, the engineer has said a lot that has covered this whole issue. As I said, Ghana Highway is not an extension of other places. We have had this axle load place at Vantage Point. Between, where the axle load station is on the motorway?
Yes.
Yes. So with that range, let's say even to the Noga here, where else could we have placed the axle load?
He was referring to a mobile axle load. But
we have a mobile axle load, but from the, near the toll booth at Tema, where this axle load station is placed, at what point do you anticipate that somebody on the road who have up their load and caused the situation? We don't really want to apportion blames right now. As engineers, we are just thinking how to solve problem, save, make sure that nothing on our road poses a risk to the public. And again, the regulations that govern each institution is different. Your nose where ends where mine started. So we have been working with the police, and as he said, from the motorway, I'm using this in particular, from the motorway to that end, definitely there should be an MTTD on the road. As he said, when it happened, we have the the car number, and we don't think that announcing it in the radio, exposing all that is the best way to go. If we can get the police to work and get this, we can work with DVLA to get the owner of the car and all that. It's enough for us so that the right things are done. Sometimes.
But you can't tell us as of now if contact has been made with the police or the DVLA.
I'm telling you that is being done.
Okay.
Today is Monday, so that's
fine.
Done.
That's fine. So when is the footbridge being fixed, please?
We've decided we are choosing our time to work because looking at the situation, it's not really a big deal that we want to disrupt traffic. So we are choosing our working time. We may mostly be working in the night and dawn so that we don't disrupt.
So when is it being started? Is it starting tonight?
Hopefully. It's supposed to even start since yesterday because plans have been completed. So the contractor will definitely go there and make sure that the repair work starts. And
he'll go there at what time?
We are trying not to disrupt traffic. So I don't know why you are asking of time to do what really. We are saying that we'll be working at hours that will not disrupt traffic.
On which day? Is it tonight or tomorrow? And when is it going to be finished? I understand that work has to be done in the night. I'm simply asking which night.
Listen, Daniel, we gave the statement was clear. We said it's within 3 days. So if it's starting this evening or tonight, definitely within some few days, we should be done with that repair.
So by Thursday, this will be done?
That is a hope. It's a probability that when the contractor goes to work right now, by Thursday.
But he's not going right now. He's going tonight.
Hopefully, that's what I'm trying to say. Moment, I'm referring to the moment. So if I say right now, it's not a big deal, is it?
Oh, no, not at all. Thank you very much, Diana Siade, for joining us. Always a pleasure having you on the show. She is the Public Relations Officer for the Ghana Highways Authority. Thanks to you as well, Engineer Abdullahi Mahama, who is an expert in the civil engineering and the built environment space. Yes, it's 24 minutes past 9. I'm going to take my last batch of messages. I'll be back to speak with Richmond Kwame Frimpong. Richmond will be sharing with us thoughts about, from his new book, New Year Fresh Start. He'll be sharing with us thoughts about how to take time wasters out of your life so you can focus on your goals and achieve them for 2019. It's an Our Start Right conversation for today. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Darling, wake up. What time did you say your meeting was?